overhears Meghan Markle boasting about her UK return and her encounter with King Charles at Highgrove House. And we've had a response from Meghan, which is that that's not the case, and that perhaps Martha Stewart is confused. Now, this story has developed since then. You got the exclusive, but can we just process the fact that a source close to Meghan, brackets, the relentless, ruthless Sussex public relations machine which never sleeps, has said that Martha Stewart must be confused? She's 85 years of age. That is an incredibly rude and obnoxious thing to say.
That she's confused, she's 85 line, is what turns this from a disagreement into a scandal. You don't call an 85-year-old icon senile unless you're pretty confident nobody's going to push back. Except someone did. Immediately.
Doubled down and decided, okay, listen, I'm in the fight now and I'm going to win. She stands by her comments. So a source close to the Sussexes says this is fake news, and Martha Stewart effectively...
Anonymous source.
Right. And, you know, they're implying, whoever it is, that Meghan, that Martha Stewart is a confused old lady. That's how I read
So rude.
that language, and that's obnoxious. And now Martha Stewart is like, well, no, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to just own this. And we're hearing she's doubling down. So this fight, this Cold War has just got hot.
Well, are you surprised that she's...
This is the moment the story stops being deniable. Martha Stewart isn't backing off, she's re-upping her claim in public. When the person you called confused doubles down instead of staying quiet, that tells you who actually feels sure of their version.
Well, the reason why Meghan won't let it go is because she actually has no gigs. And Harry has no gigs. If you talk about where their careers are at, there's a lot of noise, a lot of speculation, a lot of potential, first look deals, and the hope that some of those flower sprinkles will finally get sold to the public. And I think the reason why they won't let it go, why Martha makes these remarks to People magazine and Meghan has to respond, is because actually she needs the noise.
Yeah?
This is the theory that reframes the whole feud. Maybe the fight isn't about being right, it's about staying relevant. Worth sitting with, is controversy actually the strategy here? Or are we reading intent into bad luck?
I think she needs the noise. And I think if you take the view that Meghan may display some personality traits that are of a narcissistic nature, which, by the way, is not unusual for public figures. I mean, almost everyone in politics, almost everyone in this town is like Meghan Markle. But these people, if Meghan is like that, if she's got narcissistic traits, then what they crave is supply and acknowledgement and recognition. And so the noise, whether negative or positive, is something that Meghan craves.
Strong claim, and it's explicitly framed as opinion, not diagnosis. Worth remembering that as you watch. But the underlying observation, that noise itself might be the reward regardless of whether it's positive or negative, is the kind of pattern that's genuinely worth thinking about.
Think she lives by, and all press is good press is one of them, and fake it till you make it is another.
Big time. I also think that she knows there are effectively no gigs. Name me a big juicy gig that they've got. The Netflix is a first look deal. Ted Sarandos, good friend of mine and yours, tore up the retail agreement to sell the flower sprinkles, which is not a vote of confidence because Netflix exists to make money. And so if they're parting company with Meghan on the business side, it means that they know she's not investable. Meghan also, I'm going to tell you that I think she has zero.
Not investable is a brutal way to describe a business partner tearing up your retail deal. If this holds up, it's a much bigger story than any tabloid spat. It's the money drying up.
Policy,
Sure.
why would they give somebody any sort of special entry into the country? Because the United States, I think Kate Moss, Amy Winehouse, these are some of the characters that despite their professional success had issues getting into the country because they admitted to drug use on their application. And so if Harry told immigration what he told the author, the ghostwriter for Spare about his drug use, people are confused as to why he's able to be in the country right now.
This is the sharpest angle in the whole episode. Immigration forms ask point blank about drug use, and Spare is Harry's own book detailing his. Two documents, potentially two different answers. That's the kind of contradiction that actually has legal teeth.
If we just break it down, on a visa application, you're going to be asked, are you a terrorist?
Right.
To which most smart people, including Al-Qaeda, will say no.
No.
And then the other you're asked is, have you taken illegal narcotics? And on that visa, separate from Harry, but if you said, yes, I have, are you getting that visa?
No.
Are you sure?
For the most part, no. I mean, you might get some, if you can pull a few strings, somebody can maybe make a phone call and they could make sure you're not a drug addict, or they could pull up your records and make sure that you've not abused it in any way or been arrested for it. But they're really strict about drug use here in the States.
And if you remind me, because you are the expert on this, in the book Spare, he wrote not just about marijuana, did he? There is some other things, right?
He can.
And I think, was there a reference to cocaine as well?
I believe there was a reference, yes, because he said he didn't like it, right? I love it.
Right.
And then he talks about the mushrooms at Courtney Cox, the chocolate mushrooms, I believe, at Courtney Cox's house.
And here's the problem, you see. Maybe you could take the view that weed, as it's known, is innocuous because it's legal, for example, here in California, which would explain why everyone's so crazy.
Yes.
Now, you could argue that marijuana is maybe not such a controversial one because, for example, here in California, it's legal, which is why everyone's so crazy. Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, you've not blinked since you sat down this afternoon. So you got that, and then the mushrooms, maybe that's, who knows, a holistic lifestyle bro science thing, but you cannot argue with the white powder. That is officially not allowed.
Right. No, there's no change.
So if you say on the book visa that I'm not taking drugs, and then you write in your book that you did, there's a problem. The problem we have
a
is,
series of interviews about said drug use. Let's discuss
I'm going to, it was a year, we're told it was a year, wasn't it? And his dad got him to go to rehab.
But I do believe his dad just made him go to rehab so that they could tell the media that he went to rehab, so that they could say it was over and done with, so the media wouldn't hound him. It wasn't like rehab for actual rehabilitation.
I mean, the $1 million question, we know what's in the book Spare. We don't know is what's on that visa application.
Yeah.
And if Harry wrote, I did take some things for a year and I regret it, I'm really sorry, then home and host. But if not, there's a problem. That said, Harry seems to enjoy protection because if the Trump administration don't take Harry down, and we know that the president does not like Meghan Markle, then surely Harry's safe either way.
Cocaine, mushrooms, marijuana, all in his own words in his own memoir, laid next to a federal form that asks the same question under oath. Whether or not anything comes of it, this is the one claim in the episode that isn't just palace gossip, it's a paper trail. So this lady, she's a singer, she meets Prince Harry on the red carpet and she said it's a pinch me moment. And he's the most beautiful, wonderful soul. She posts all of this on social media and she does not include Meghan in the post.
Why would you do?
Well, because you're hitting on her husband.
Yeah.
And so to omit Meghan from the post is a brutal swipe. But here's what really shocked me. The body language, her eyes lit up, Harry sparkled. Why? Because he's finally in the company of someone that elevates him, that looks up to him, that makes him feel attractive again.
Yeah.
Age 41. By the way, I got in big trouble.
Body language reads are always speculative, so take this one with a grain of salt. But the detail that's hard to argue with is the omission itself. Leaving your spouse out of a post about meeting someone new is a choice, not an accident.
I know the Joe Marler podcast was embarrassing and cringe. I get it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
He was old Harry.
It was the old Harry.
That you guys miss. I know that, like,
He was cringe then.
you missed him. So, I mean, I do think he loves those moments where people kiss his butt, and I think that they actually probably happen much more often than we actually see. That's why Dr. Sophie Shindaka wanted to get him away from Senabale, because he was surrounding himself with yes people that were kissing his you-know-what.
Right.
But I think that it's Harry and Meghan against the world, which I know I've referenced earlier. and he is afraid of life, the real world, without her, because she wears the pants in the family. She's made all the decisions despite us recognizing how terrible they are. And I think that if anybody's going to leave that relationship first, it would be Meghan. I think that she's not traumatized by divorce because her parents got a divorce when she was young. She happily divorced Trevor Ingleson, tossed those rings in a FedEx envelope and shipped them back to him. And it's Harry that tells us he was horrified by his parents' separation, and that, I think he wants to see his children grow up with both parents. So no matter how much you flatter Harry, I think he loves the attention, but I don't think he would leave Meghan.
This is the most serious claim in the video, and it's clearly labeled as personal interpretation, not fact. That distinction matters, and I'd keep it front and center rather than smoothing it into certainty. The safer, more grounded takeaway underneath it: whoever has more to lose from staying usually isn't the one who leaves first. If you think Meghan's the one playing 4D chess here, or Harry's just along for the ride, drop your take in the comments. I read everyone. Hit subscribe if you want the next royal update the second it breaks, because this story is nowhere near done.